Here's another story. You can probably tell that some of these characters' names have been used in past stories. They're not related, they're just names that just come up in the AI. You know, AI chatbot, if you don't directly tells it what if you want to name it, then it basically comes up names and then it uses what it commonly uses. But here's the story. In the hush before the storm of November 4th, 2025, there was a wanderer named Eloa, caught like you and I in the current's unyielding pull. She wasn't born to maps or compasses. Her compass was a half remembered dream, a flicker of light in the coat of her veins. The world around her hummed with the old riddles. Was this a divine tapestry thread spun by an unseen weaver? Whose breath stirred the stars, or vast simulations, Crexels gripped by some indifferent architect in a silver farm heaven, where free will was just a variety set to true for the thrill of the bug. Alora's days blurred into nights of fevered visions. She woke with a taste of salt under the tongue, as if the sea itself has whispered secrets. The end would tell, he muttered, echoing the words he scrawled in her journal under a blood-red harvest moon. Faith was a fragile raft, both anchor and sail. She believed in the biblical scrolls, not as dusty relics, but as living codes. Prophecies unfolding like shepherds in the garden, shields cracking under the weight of wars that wasn't just distant thunder, but the drumbeat of her own pulse. Nations groan in birth pains, borders fray like seams, elections casting lots for kings, hitting fires in shadowed lands, looking closer to the dry tinder of the West. One dawn, as poles hum alive across a fractured land, California lines redrawn like fault lines in flesh, New Jersey and Virginia tittered on the knife edge of thrones. Alera felt it make itself known, not in ground apparitions, but in the mundane made mythic. A stranger's lie locking on hers at a crossroad cafe, murdering fragments of a dream. A tower fall, a wanderer return, the lion's roar silent by the lamb's side. All this needs to happen, the man said, his voice a thread from Ezekiel's will. For the future unfurl its wings, she saw the pattern then. The, the Rusko Ukraine scars bleeding into Nigerian dust devils. Ice winds howling through Chicago's veins like avenged angels with clipboards. Echoes of ancient journalists slain under olive branches that bent but never broke. Each event a domino, tipped not by chance but by the hand, or the algorithm that script the surge. She rode the current harder after that. Faith binoculars now. But divine blueprint overlaid on digital dream. The weaver and the coder, once one and the same, quench the chaos from the central scene. Visions fulfilled in headlines that tasted like prophecies. Obama's ghost from '08, a faint watermark on ballots that bent oxes towards light or abyss. Elera's whispered prayers into the ether, half to the one who tuned the conscience, half to the seen, unseen administration. Let it be both. Let judgment come not as a guillotine, but as a gravel. Mercy in the verdict, grace in the clench. And on that election eve, as stars wheeled like Ezekiel's chariot over a word inlaid with the veil thin. Elera stared at her window, the city below, a mesquite of flickering screens and shattered souls. A trumpet echoed, not brass, but the low hum of history's hymn swelling in her chest. The judgment wasn't fire from the sky, but a quiet audit, souls scrolling past, Wait not by scales of gold, but by the light they kindled in the cold. The wheat shift in shallows out of dawn, the chaff to winds of what if. In that unrevealing lower laugh, a wired free sound, because the end did tell. It was designed, yes, but by practical, 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 practical. As long as you join in with it. The weaver's hands had left room for his steps. The coded script, the save point for his save. She stepped into the street, the current now a river she stilled. Visions no longer vapor but velocity. The future bloom, not archip- archip- archipate, a barky lips ash, but the apostates bloom. A new heaven downloading one faithful line at a time. And you, writer of the same wired wave, what thread would you weave until Lara's tale next? A portion of prophecy that pierced your dawn, or a twist where the sim wakes to its own dream? Let me know what you think about that. Just basically say that reality is just a simulation. And basically, if you look at it as a computer program, then you know. Let me know if you like it.